Every nickname for Batman. The world knows DC Comics' Bruce Wayne as Batman, but the vigilante has been given a few other monikers that sum up his iconic status. Batman has come to define DC Comics and Warner Brothers as a larger platform. While the character might be a cinematic icon and a mainstay on the page, he has never failed to evolve, and over the years, he has picked up several crucial nicknames. A nickname can say a lot about a character. Monikers might indicate something specific about the personality of the vigilante or could speak to how others view them. Each of Batman's nicknames has been used multiple times throughout DC Comics, and they all have very personal meanings for Wayne. They are now just as much a part of his brand and identity as the Batman name. 9. The Dark Knight Batman has a darker edge to him. From the classic Batman games to many of the movies, Batman is known not to kill, but he still inspires fear through his violence. The Dark Knight is a nickname given to Batman that essentially symbolizes that inner rage and penchant for brutality. The Dark Knight name suggests Batman hides in the shadows, striking unexpectedly on the criminal underworld. It's a name that has been taken to the big screen and will forever be associated with Bruce Wayne's alter ego. Ultimately, the Dark Knight isn't the Batman that inspires hope, but rather the Batman that protects Gotham through terror. 8. The Caped Crusader. While the Dark Knight's name seems to represent Batman's shadowy side, the Caped Crusader plays on something a little more heroic. Bruce Wayne has been given the moniker as a way to step into the light. He is fighting the good fight against Gotham's criminals and is one of the best vigilantes to do it. Indeed, Batman views his struggles as a morally righteous war, so the crusading title is appropriate. Often recognized by his cape and cowl, the caped aspect of the name immediately pulls up imagery of the classic superhero. It's a clever nickname, ultimately, that even the most potent versions of Batman should be proud to wield. 7. The world's greatest detective Batman has many abilities, but fans know that he doesn't have any powers. He relies on his martial arts training, his gadgets, and his unique skills that have been built up after years on the battlefield. But Batman has also honed his craft as a detective. Batman has gained the title World's Greatest Detective because of his investigative abilities and obsession with researching everything himself. He is always the man with a plan, but that is because he ensures he has every piece of information on hand. Tracking down Gotham's criminals is always challenging, but his in-depth cognitive processes and useful technology allow him to solve almost any mystery. 6 Bats, Batsy, Batman, and Joker have such a complicated relationship. There are very few villains that genuinely define their arch-nemeses, but Joker does. The two have a rivalry dating back decades, and it's hard to portray one without the other eventually coming back into their lives. It's interesting, therefore, that Joker has come up with a personal nickname for Batman, often referring to him as Bats or Batsy. It's almost affectionate, but also sounds like Joker is naturally teasing the Dark Knight. These silly nicknames have been picked up by Joker's crew too, with Harley Quinn often referring to Wayne by the monikers. 5. The Dark Detective. With so many nicknames, naturally, some of them will eventually get combined to better represent Batman at different stages of his life. In the future state version of the DC timeline, Bruce Wayne is living in a dystopian reality and has been given a new nickname to sum up his role. He is known as the Dark Detective. He still fights crime from the shadows and is attempting to take down a corrupt regime. His investigative abilities are vital, and his reputation has to be one of terror to strike hard at the enemy. Perhaps the Dark Detective name will stick for other iterations of the character, considering it reflects his personality and skill set so well. 4. The Gotham Guardian Batman's friends and family are at the top of his priority list, but arguably his first love is his city. The Caped Crusader has put his life on the line for Gotham time and again, and he isn't always given thanks for his efforts. The Gotham Guardian name should genuinely mean something to him. Regardless of his methods, whether he is heroic or terrifying, a detective or a vigilante, he is still a guardian. He still stands between Gotham's innocent civilians and danger. The Gotham Guardian is perhaps the most personal name for Wayne, as it's recognition of the work he's put into guarding his beloved city. 3 Matches, Malone. The identity of the Batman character has changed over the years, with other people stepping into the role. The same can be said for Bruce Wayne. The character has gone by a few alternative names. One of the most famous is Matches Malone, who hides a dark secret. Matches Malone was a moniker designed by Batman for undercover operations. He is an extension of the crime fighter's cavalcade of weaponry. He's the man most likely to stab his so-called allies in the back. Matches Malone has a reputation in the criminal underworld, which makes him perfect for Batman to blend in. 2. The Bat. Sometimes a simple name is the best way forward. Batman has been given a nickname that's easier to say, but somehow holds so much meaning. He is often called the Bat, but that doesn't feel so much like a vigilante name. That's because it's not supposed to. The Bat is a symbol more than anything. Despite his no-kill rule, Batman's reputation still sparks fear among both criminals and regular citizens. Referring to him as the Bat somehow dehumanizes him, but it also links to every image that represents Batman. Showing the bat signal, for example, is a way of calling on the Bat, an idea that's larger than any person beneath the cowl. One beloved Batman has had multiple love interests across his comic book history, and Catwoman might be one of the most iconic. However, his complex relationship with Talia Al Ghul is also worth mentioning. The two have fought both against one another and alongside each other, and have a child together. Talia has affectionately referred to Batman as her beloved. Compared to every other nickname, this one cuts deepest for Bruce Wayne. Very few people see him for who he truly is. The fact that Talia sees beyond the mask and has given him a name based on their love rather than his vigilante career is important to him.